consistency your team showed when they made their run there?
We did, and they come at you quick, and I thought our guys stayed together. I think it's a real-time snapshot of the difficulty of guarding LeBron. You know, in the first half, I think we got too sucked in, and you know, he has 9 assists. He quarterbacks the gym, and you try to make an adjustment in the second half where, you know, you give less help, but you stay committed to the three-point shooters, and he's got 35 points. So he goes from a facilitator to to LeBron James, 35 points, and I thought to withstand that is a really timely game to have been played as we enter the playoffs.
When he's hunting out JJ and Marco in those pick and rolls, what are you saying? What's the strategy?
We tried for like 3 different looks. Like, inevitably, you don't want that. You'd prefer to have Ben on LeBron. And, you know, they do what they do. They kind of like surgically, you know, draw the pick and roll. And, you know, sometimes we switch, sometimes we didn't. And they're very methodical about it. That's what they've done since he's been there. And we tried to blitz some. We tried to stay on our own with some. When JJ or Marco has LeBron, you got some problems. And so the long two, we're going to live with a little bit. I thought his roll-offs, I thought some of the ways that we showed no resistance on him was disappointing. But it's a playoff lesson. That is a playoff game because you go through the multiple things that go through your mind on the bench, you know, trying to put our guys in schemes that are successful. And we went through 4 of them. And that's what he does. That's what goes on in my mind.
Was there anything pre-game with Ben at all where you saw that he had a look or that he was going to come out with that aggressiveness and play that way?
I think he's been playing great basketball. I think our team's been playing, you know, great basketball lately. And so I know Ben really embraces the challenge of playing against LeBron. We all were excited to come back here in Philadelphia and play in front of an amazing crowd in such a big game. And it didn't surprise me that he had a big game. When you look at the stat line and you see, you know, a triple-double, a significant triple-double, it's not like he eked in. It was a very authoritative triple-double. It really didn't surprise me. He's been doing a lot lately that doesn't catch me as much off guard as it used to.
We were talking before the game, Brad, about the potential for this game and what it meant moving forward in terms of, you were talking before the game about the potential for this game, what it meant in terms of the standings and the potential path forward. And,
can somebody shut that? Oh, is that just too loud? Sorry, yep.
No, you're fine. What does it mean to you to see your team kind of grow on a stage like this when it hasn't been here before and find a way to get a win in a spot like this?
I mean, if you went into the locker room, and you will, I suppose, soon. I saw it immediately after the game. There is just a very spirited, genuine group of some old, some young players that are sharing in each other's success, and led by Joel Embiid. You know, I think Joe looks great. Like, he's as thin as I've ever seen him. He hears me talk about thin as in all the time. His body looks exceptional, and his spirit is there to match that. And to see Joel, like, bring the team in, and, you know, we got a bell ringer in Ben Simmons, and see those 2 young guys and the veterans. It's just a very tight room. You know, it's a very tight group. That part of it excites me as much as what did we learn about the pick and rolls, and not to try to, you know, have that environment as much as we did. Or how do we deal with them switching? That really hurt our offense. That side of it interests me the most.
This run, you haven't had a lot of opportunities to play a game like this. I imagine a week before the playoffs are going to start, it's a pretty nice time to have.
It's extremely timely because it's a real feeling. It's defensive adjustments. Now what? What do you do? It's offensive adjustments. Now what? What do you do? And, you know, like, you're going through sort of highs and lows and trying to figure it out and try to stay sane. And, you know, situationally, we had great situations where we tried to foul them twice, one successfully, one unsuccessfully. You know, getting the ball in bounds, recognizing they had no timeouts. Those types of things, along with just the flow of the game, made this game very much a tremendous learning experience. It's always feels more positive when you win, but in general, I hoped I would have said that regardless.
Bellinelli tonight. Can you talk about the impact Marco Bellinelli made tonight at 23 off the bench?
I mean, there was a stage that he came in and just was lethal. We were sputtering, and he came in and just gave us an injection of offense. And, we all talk about those players, those lightning in a bottle type players that can come off a bench and do something like that. Most good teams have somebody like that, and he is certainly ours.
Can you talk a little bit about the intangibles that go into a game like this? And maybe you wouldn't have won this 40 games ago, but what are the things like behind the scenes that might explain why you guys did so well?
I think that we executed some of the get-in plays toward the end, where we had to just get the ball in. We knew they had a foul to give, so you had to be strong with the ball. You're going to go into the back court, you're going to go into the front court. You're going to expect them to try to whack you. How are you going to space behind that? Situationally, do you foul? If you're up 3, we were able to do it twice. Do you make sure you have good rebounders in the game when all of a sudden it's clear they're going to miss shots? We've gone overboard with our rebounding. I think our 12 offensive rebounds, just keeping balls alive. That was the play that got JJ his shot in the corner. Ben Simmons, 6'10", being committed as an offensive rebounder. Most teams send their 4 and their 5 men to the boards. We're playing around with some things there, those types of things.
You talk about this being a playoff game with a young team and a hyped-up crowd, and the learning curves you can go through. Do you think you guys played the clock enough in the second half?
Maybe there was times we had a few quick possessions, some quick threes. But it's also we're 132 points. I mean, it's kind of how we got the lead at the start. I think it's a real apparent, like what Joel would have brought to the table. There was a calming effect where they don't have, I don't think, anybody that can guard them. And so, you could have gone there a little bit. I think you could have impacted the game, some things defensively. You're always in tailspins, pick and roll with LeBron. You're always in a headache with LeBron of what do you do. You blitz him, he finds somebody. You switch it, he punishes it. You play, sort of like a center fieldy type thing, our verbiage. He finds a way to get it done. It never feels right. It really never feels right. Ask the Wizards last night when they're up 17 points, with 6 minutes left. Or Toronto that was up 30 or 28 not so long ago. That's what they do. And Jeff Green came in and had a huge game as well, making threes. And so, all those things I think can help teach us more as it relates to playoff experience.
If you're looking at the team the first week of the season versus now, like you're talking about the resilience, the things that you've learned, do you feel like that growth was expedited in a way that you didn't expect?
I think, momentum builds, and there is something that you like to hold on to in relation to just doing the right thing and putting in good days. And we've lived by that for 5 years. But when you accumulate wins, there is a spirit that is hardened, and it grows, and confidence builds. It's normal. They're human beings. And so when somebody tells us that we have the best record or second best record in the NBA after Christmas, and we start looking at real facts and math, forget opinion, it all equals a locker room that feels like we can win. We feel like we can close out games. We feel like we can get hit in the mouth and still bounce back. And it's stuff that sometimes is organic. Sometimes you just got to fight for it. I see it very much an organic growth with our team, but it certainly has been expedited because we've been winning.
All the players mentioned that this game is like a big test for you guys. And after the game, how do you grade this game?
I mean, I'm never feeling that great about giving up a 30-point lead. I've been doing this long enough to recognize that happens in this league. And so you want to go back and figure it out a little bit more than we did tonight. How do you arrest that? If that were a playoff game, what do you wish you did differently? What could we have done better? And I'll go back and look at, some pick and roll things with LeBron. I feel like I understand what the answer is going to be. I'll look at some of our shot selection. I'll look at them switching out on our stuff and really bothering us. They stay connected with a lot of our pin down, that type of action. Maybe there were some quick shots. I felt like there is still a lot to be learned from a game like that.